Hey, these cute Art Soothes the Heart coffee mugs are available in the shop. There's a link in the description box. Go grab yours today. Let's go make some art together because art soothes the heart. Thanks for stopping by at Twisted Art Designs. So in the last video, I showed how to make this cute journal. We're going to put a fancy cover on it, and I'm filling it with Julie Nutting paper dolls, and I'm dressing them all as fairies. So I just thought I would show a couple of my decorating ideas. You know, you're welcome to decorate your book any way you'd like, but for inspiration, I'll show you a couple more pages as I decorate in this book. So I've got this page. This is from an ephemera book, and it is like gnome houses. So it's a mushroom house from a forest. And I thought this would be cute in this book. Now it is kind of big, but I'm going to trim it down and make it fit on a page and then add a fairy to the page because I just thought that is so cute. That would be a great fairy page. So the first thing I'm going to do is fussy cut this out. So that looks cute. I love that page. And now it's ready to add a Julie Nutting paper doll that I create and make into a fairy. So I just randomly grabbed a Julie Nutting stamp, and I'm using Fiona. And I wanted to show that for this book, I'm going to be really creative and step outside the box. And I want to be able to use any Julie Nutting stamp and turn it into a fairy. Well, she's wearing blue jeans and a little t-shirt top. And so I have a creative way that I'm going to turn that into something cute and make it fairy-like without it looking like a blue jeans and a t-shirt. So I'm not going to use this part. I'm just going to use the basic girl, and I always use the Ranger Dilutions journaling block as my stamping base. I know that Prima has a base for the Julie Nutting stamps, but it's really expensive and sometimes they're hard to find. And this works to me just as well, if not better, so it clings to it and it's easy to stamp with. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp her. I'm going to stamp her. I always stamp onto file folder first. That's what I always use as my base to build my girl. And then I'm going to start building her from there. And when I ink my stamp, she has boots on with lines down the center of the boots, and I'm just going to ink the outside edge so that that line doesn't get stamped, and so that it looks like feet instead of boots. You'll see when I show you what it looks like. For her outfit, I'm going to use this pattern paper with this little itty bitty tiny polka dot, and I don't want to do ink in any of the jeans part or the cuffs or anything like that. I just need the line between, the line on the outside, and just to try to ink and make the body shape, because I'm gonna doodle and make this look really cool. So I just want the outside edge of this outfit. I don't want the inner part of the jeans or anything like that. So I'm using a Tombow. This is a Tombow marker, and I'm just going around the edge, down the sides of her leg, in the middle part with this Tombow marker, and around the top. Hopefully there's enough ink in this pen. It's kind of old. Yeah, I think there is, to make that work. And you might want to huff it a little bit. Blowing hot air on it, hot breath is huffing on it. And see if it stamps. It did. So that's what I was going for, is the outline in pink. And now I'm going to cut that out. That Tombow marker is water soluble. So that's why it works. If you try to use an alcohol marker, you won't get good results, because the alcohol marker dries almost as immediately as you put it onto the stamp. It will not work as well. So it's better to use something water soluble to stamp with. And I'm cutting off the rounded parts of those sleeves. So this is so cute. It almost looks like a pink jumpsuit. That's what I'm going for here. So this is what it's going to look like on it, like that. Look at how cute. So instead of her looking like she has blue jeans, now she has this pink jumpsuit. Her feet are going to be flesh colored, and I'm going to color her arms and face, do the hair like I normally do, and I'm going to Zentangle and draw shapes into this body to make it even more fun. So that's how that turned out. I just did some swirl doodles on it and colored them in pink. Love it. It looks so cute, and it doesn't look like she's wearing jeans or a t-shirt now, so that's her cute fairy outfit. But the next thing I'm going to do is to add a face, because I am doing faces in this book. So to do this face, same as before I add the hair, I'm going to divide this face. Okay. So I divided it up, and her eyes are just going to be right underneath where the hair is. I may even just have her eyes be closed. That's kind of cute. So this is how she turned out. I used another set of those Tim Holtz wings. They were already pink, and they were clear. I did the same thing as last time, where I used golden fluid acrylic paint in iridescent pearl and put it on the back side so that it would make some iridescent spots, just a few in the center part of the wings. I used little flower gems around the top to make her little crown. I put one on her outfit and two on her shoes. And I colored in her little swirls that I did, so that's how she turned out. So fun. I love this. This is just so fun. I'm really having a good time decorating the Julie Nutting girls as fairies and making backgrounds for this book. So I just need to add her to the page and see what else I want to put on this page. So this is what the Fiona stamp normally looks like, with her blue jeans and boots and shirt and vest. And this is what she looks like the way I did her to turn her into a fairy. So it's fun to just let your creativity go and see what you can come up with. Now I want to bring over some of this blue from the mushroom over to this side where she's at. So I'm going to use some Caran d'Ache Neocolor too. And I like to use these just to add little pops of color here and there. And I always think it's important to bring one color from over here so she doesn't look so separate. There's blue in the mushroom, so there really needs to be blue over here. So I'm just going to put a little blue shadowing behind her, just coloring with the crayon. Use my finger to blend it out. Just the warmth of your finger can work to blend out the neo color. You don't need to use a water brush or activate it with water. In fact, I think that's exactly what it needed. I like it a lot already. So see how that ties that in and brings them together, because now the same color from here is over here. And I might add a few more things, but that's the basics. So this is a great time to ask, what are your favorite Julie Nutting dolls? So I'm sure if you are a Julie Nutting fan like I am, that you've purchased some or have some from way back when they came out, 10, 15 years ago. And what is your favorite one? What's the one that your favorite go-to one that you like to grab and decorate? So leave a comment and let me know what's your favorite Julie Nutting rubber stamp. And I think it'd be kind of fun to add some kind of doodles in the background in black. I love that our hair is black, so I'm going to just come in here with my Tombow monoliners and do some doodling. And you could do as much or as little as you want. This is your art time to add your flair to your page. So it's fun to get creative. Things like that. I'm going to just add a bunch of that kind of thing all over it around the background. Next, I'm going to do backgrounds, and I'm going to use these digitals. Now, I've already shown these previously. This is the one for Julie Nutting Layovers. I showed that in the first book in this series when I did a fairy layout here, but I can use them and change them up. They're versatile, and I can make them look different and use them in this book. So it's a totally different book, and I can use them again, but use them in a different way. So I'm going to use that digital. And then I also have this teacup fairy. I'll link the video in the description box below. I show how to decorate your teacup, add the fairy to the teacup. There's another fairy on it, so I thought this would be a great one to use in this fairy book as well. So I'm revisiting the teacup fairy kit and the Julie Nutting Dress Ups fairy kit as well. So the links for these digitals will be in the description box. If you don't know where to find a description box in a YouTube video, right under the title there's a few words, and then it'll have the ... more. Click on that. A box opens. If you find the bottom of that, click more. A whole box drops down. It shows links to products I mentioned, my digitals, link to the shop, any other videos I mention. So check that out, and it'll also have the link to the playlist for all the Julie Nutting videos in all the series that I've done. This is series 3. So I'm going to use these, and I'm going to get started on a background in my book to add some more dolls and keep going with my fairy book. So I have a whole video on how to use that teacup fairy kit and decorate it yourself, and I just used a Stampin' Up! Rubber stamp. This is a floral rubber stamp with a pansy and some flowers, and made the mask. I show you in that video how to do that, and stamped to make this floral teacup. So cute. So now I can color it and stick my little tea time fairy in there. So for my background, I printed out 2 pictures of trellises. I wanted some trellis images just alongside in the background, so I'm going to put one over here and one on the opposite side, and I'm going to cut it out, leaving some of these bricks, and then put this along this edge, and then same thing over here, cut it out, leaving some bricks, tear it along here. So I'm going to go ahead and add those to the background and then show you the rest of my ideas. So here is my cut out images of the lattice work, and I like it. So there's bricks, and it looks really cute and adds a little something to that background. And the easiest way to apply a paper image is to use glue stick on the back. I do glue stick kind of in the center, and then around the edges I use my art glitter glue. If you put art glitter glue all over the image, you'll see little lines. So I just put glue stick in the center, and then I take my little fine tip applicator and go around the edge and then press it onto the page. So I put down my trellises. I found this cute image I had of a table with some tea service on it. I'm going to glue that down right here on the background. I've got my cute little teacup fairy from that kit, that digital kit. She's going to go down here, and I think I'm going to pop her up, and I need to put a little tea bag in her cup, and then I'm going to decorate a Julie Nutting girl using the fairy digital kit and add a Julie Nutting girl right here to make my tea time fairy page. I'm using the Marisol stamp, and that's the one that the kit was designed for, but it does fit on other dolls. I just had her handy at my desk, so I grabbed her, and I colored in her skin tone, and now I'm going to do a face. So I'm just going to zero in and do a quick face. Same thing, dividing out her head in half, and in half again, and then half and half if you do those lines. you have the perfect guide for putting things where they should be. So I'm going to just draw in a little cute face, and then I'll do it in pen. Just drawing in the basics. Another idea I had, I'm going to do something a little kind of wild, but I'm going to draw a line and I'm going to cut that arm off separately and see if I can reverse this arm and use it in a different way on her body. Don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try it because this is a teacup fairy page and I want her holding a teacup. So let's see if I can pull that off. Well, what do you know? It works. What I did was I stamped it again. I just wanted to play around and see. So here's her arm. And I colored it with alcohol markers, and when you turn it upside down, the alcohol markers bled through, so it's still the same color and I can go over it again. But if I put this behind her like this, it'll be like her arm is coming out from the side holding a teacup. It's gonna work. So just get creative, guys. Try different things and you never know what you can come up with. And I just used a paint marker. This is kind of a peachy color, and I just colored over where she had bangs from the original Marisol so that I can use the fairy hair on here. And as you can see, I can put it on and not have those bangs on the original stamp get in the way. So here's how it turned out with her arm facing the other way. I love it because I'm going to put a little coffee cup in her hand, a little teacup, and I just need to color in her arm a little bit more, but there's how her face is coming along with a hairstyle. I'm going to use the wings from this kit and change them up and use them a little bit differently. I cut out the wings from the kit, and I don't want the wings to be blue for this fairy page. I think I want them to be a different color. So what I'm going to do is just turn them upside down, and I'm using a light box, and I kind of laughed to pull out my light box, and this light box has a date on the side of it from the manufacturer for 1995. So I've had this light box since 1995. So anyway, if you flip it over and you use it on a light box, you can take your pencil and you can go and trace out the design that I've drawn on the front onto the back side, and then just use a pen to pen it in. And then you can make your wings any color you want and change them up. If you don't have a light box, you could also take this to a glass door or a window with the sun shining through and do the same thing. So it's just another fun way of using these wings in a different way if you don't want them the color that I colored them in the kit. Or you also could take a paint pen and color over this. So I could change up the color if I wanted to by using a paint pen. I also have this cool light box. It's super lightweight and thin and easy to store, and it's got several different levels of brightness for it, and it's USB. So you plug in a cable and plug it into your USB port, and it runs, the power runs off of that. My cable doesn't reach, so I didn't show you that. I'll have a link in the description box for this one. I got it a couple years ago as a gift, and I love it. I use it the most for doing my drawing. But today I use the one that plugs in because my USB cable isn't long enough to come over here where my camera is. Or you could just create your own fun designs too. You could come in here and draw your own unique shapes and designs. So it doesn't even have to be how I designed the kit. But you've got the basic shape of the wings to use and play with if you want white wings or you want to change them to a different color. And I always draw them in pencil first and then use my Tombow monoliner drawing pens to go back over them and do them in ink. So if you're looking for a light box, that one is really, really good. And lightweight, easy to use. My plug-in one is heavy and bulky and kind of a pain. I just used it today because it plugs into an outlet, and I have an outlet under my table, so I'm just going over those in pen. So I've erased my pencil line, and now I've got some really fancy cute white wings to go behind this fairy. And I can shade them with some other colors. I want to put her on the page first and see what I like best. I'm going to use this crown. This is from the fairy kit, and I'm going to use part of it as a crown of flowers on her head and part of it as decor at the bottom of her dress. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And for her dress, I just used some really fun scrapbooking paper that I had. It had a really kind of flowery and swirly pattern. So look how cute that's turning out. The crown of flowers, the flowers on her dress, the white wings. I love it. It's so cute. So it's just showing you that if you've purchased that fairy kit already, it's not a one and done. You can use it in so many different ways. Just be creative and change up the colors. Use paint pens to change the color of the dress. Flip the wings over and make different wing patterns on them and use them in a different way. It's, you know, this crown, using it at the dress and the hair. There's so many different ways that you can use the items, that you can print a digital over and over again and come out with different designs by just changing it up a little bit. So be creative and have fun with it. And look, so this is going to be so cute. This page is going to be just so fun. So I'm going to keep working on it, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Here's how the page turned out. I drew a little teacup to put in her hand, and I added some sparkle to her hair with glitter ink and sparkle to the wings. There's a tea tag here that's on a string coming out of the teacup, and it says, "Let's have tea." I just think this is really cute. Turned out really fun. I enjoyed making it, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. So the next time, because there is another fairy on this digital that is a sunflower fairy, I wanted to do a sunflower fairy layout in this book. I already had that idea, and there's a sunflower fairy on here. So I'm going to make that fairy and use a Julie Nutting stamp. I'll choose one and make a sunflower fairy out of a Julie Nutting and put together this sunflower girl and do a sunflower layout. So on the next video, I'll show you that layout. I'll show you my idea for decorating the cover of this book, and I'll have a freebie to give away next time. So stay tuned and come back and see more. Hope you're having fun and playing along and doing this project. Thanks for stopping by. Go make some art, because art soothes the heart.